last year, I got one of the most painful experiences that I have had since I got to Canada. I had to pay back $4,500 to CRE. And the worst part, it wasn't because I committed fraud or I intentionally did anything wrong. It happened because there were things about the Canadian tax and benefits that I did not fully understand. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing exactly what happened, things that I learned, and the mistakes that I want every newcomer to avoid. So in the month of April 2025, I decided to file my taxes, and I reached out to the same company that had initially filed my tax the previous year, so to help me file my tax. Now, when I did file the first tax when I got to Canada, I was working as an international student, and I came here alone. I did not come with my partner. But this time around, my partner had arrived, and I obviously had to file my taxes. So, what happened? I submitted all my T4 papers, every document that is relevant to filing the taxes. So when this company was done filing my taxes for me, they requested for every document that I had already shared with them. However, I got the shock of my life when they reached out to me that I would have to pay back $4,200, and I was shocked. To an extent, I knew I was going to pay back a little bit, or maybe didn't know I was going to pay back because the previous year I was working the same job. I had not changed any job. And even when I did change jobs, I completely made sure that everything was going to work perfectly for me. Little did I know that when I kept on talking to this tax filing company, they sent me a bill of $4,000+. I immediately started crying because I didn't know where to start from. As at that time, I was not working a good job. In fact, I was in limbo there were a lot of things going on in my life at that point in time. And so I felt, when they told me at first, I'm like, wait a minute, I was like, maybe they didn't do something right, something is wrong. I just need these people to figure out exactly what's going on. But unfortunately, there was nothing they could do because I was obviously omitted some information. So these were the things that actually happened when I had previously filed my taxes. Remember, when I got here into Canada, I came in as an international student. And while I had completed my study the next year, that was in 2024, I was still working 2 jobs. Both jobs were part-time jobs, but I was working full-time hours. Again, if you submitted your application in the year 2023 before October, you know you're eligible to work more than 40 hours a week. So I was working and cracking up the hours like like someone was on something. I would go to work in the morning, go to work at night. I was working back to back. I was used to that kind of lifestyle. So when I finished my internship and graduated, I still continued doing those jobs because I felt like, what are the odds? I didn't have any reason to stop working those jobs. So what I didn't do was the fact that I also did not update CRE, that things had changed on my account. I also did not update my record with the HR. So the first company that I was working with, they were not deducting the actual right tax deductions from my account. Now, when I found out, this company actually deducted $200 from my account for an entire year. Imagine working back to back 40 hours a week, sometimes 46 hours a week, sometimes 50 hours a week with this same company, and you end up, oh my goodness, and you end up realizing that these guys only deducted $200 from your account, from your paycheck. Yes, that was exactly what happened to me. Now, for the second company, I did not inform them that I was working the first job, because when I did get the both jobs, I I wasn't sure if I was going to get any of the jobs. I got them at the same time. Now, in the middle of all of this, in the month of July, I left the first job that I started working, and I started a new job August 1st in 2024. Remember, so July 2024, I stopped one job, but I continued with another job. Now, I don't know what exactly happened, but in a particular month, it showed that I worked 3 jobs, which is something that I never did. When the accounting company, when they reached out to me and they said, you worked 3 jobs, I'm like, no, I did not. But unfortunately, that was on the record that I worked 3 jobs at that point. And because of that, plus the fact that my first employer wasn't deducting the right taxes from my account, it became a serious problem. Now, don't be like me. These are the things that I had to realize. Lesson number 1. CRA money isn't free money. One thing that a lot of newcomers do not understand is that CRA deductions or benefits are based on the information that you provide specifically about your tax situation. Now, in this case, what I would expect you to do is report accurate information, have receipts. Oh my God, keep your receipts. Also, understanding that some benefits can be reassessed. Lesson number 2. Always, always, always update your information. Update your address change, update your income status, update your family situation. If you recently welcomed a new baby, or you're going through a divorce, or you're separating from your partner, or maybe you're getting married or you just recently got married, please make sure that you have all this data imputed correctly on your record. Make sure you call the CRA to make sure that this record that they have is actually correct. Maybe you need to go to your service province, maybe Service Ontario if you're in Ontario, Service New Brunswick if you're in New Brunswick, Service Canada specifically. I think that is where you should go. When you go to Service Ontario, Service BC, Service Calgary, or Service Alberta. Those are the places where you have to update all the information specifically about your address change, if you've lost your life, like so many things like that. Just Google where you're going to have to update your record with CRA. Lesson number 3. Read every CRA letter. God. I feel like a lot of us actually assume that because there is always a way out. I don't know how we think. I feel like this is one information that a lot of people are still struggling with. Especially if you're somebody that is not really versatile and is not that learned, this you might find to be difficult. But I can tell you that the fact that you're in Canada makes you a learned to an extent. You know what to do, you know how to do things, you know where to, like, because a lot of the information that you get in Canada, you have to be a voracious reader. You need to be somebody, you need to cultivate the habit of paying attention to details. Before now, I was not like that. I'm telling you because I've been there. Before now, I was that girl that would, oh, I'm going to attend to this later. I'm going to do this later. In fact, this particular procrastination issue happened with me with insurance. I'm going to drop a video if you want me to. Just let me know in the comment section so I can talk about insurance in Canada. Oh my God, I have a lot of stories. But again, make sure that you read everything in that letter of correspondence that CRA sends to you. Sometimes the information that you need is missed in that particular part where you do not read. So you have to be thorough. Social media is there now. There's ChatGPT. There are lots of things that you can use to just summarize what the letter entails so you understand and comprehend what exactly you're supposed to do. But do not forget that you have to read every letter, everything that CRA sends you. And it's not just about CRA. It spans through everything here because, oh my God, at this point I feel like if I go to a law school, every Canadian should be able to pass the bar exam because you have to have a knack for attention and a knack for being detailed oriented. Or one of my instructors back in school used to say, ignorance is not an excuse. That is the same thing that happens here in Canada. And while you get a correspondence letter from CRA, make sure that you respond quickly, because everything is time bound. If you do not respond in time, girl, don't be surprised that you're going to get a penalty back from CRA, because there is always timeline for everything. So you have to make sure that you respond quickly. Lesson number 4. File your taxes correctly. Filing your taxes correctly can actually be one of the things that would help you at the end of the day. Even when details are missed out, you can still reassess the situation in the later end in the year. That's why I recommend making sure to go through a licensed accounting or tax filing company, not just by doing your tax refund, tax filing. I would highly recommend that you actually go through this for the first 3 years that you land while you're trying to figure things out here in Canada. Because sometimes, even if you get money back from the CRA as a benefit, you may have to pay that money back in multiple folds. So I would highly recommend that you review your tax filing details and information before submitting it. Lesson number 5. Double check everything over and over again. When I say double check, I mean triple check, check literally everything you click on. Like, make sure you check everything before you do anything. Double check to confirm that your tax detail is correct, that your HST is correct, that your child benefit is also correct, that your provincial benefit is also correct. Focus on understanding the eligibility rather than the benefits that you're going to get. Paying back roughly $4,500 wasn't a fun experience. And one thing that I missed out in this situation is, while I was paying that money back to CRA, I was also paying interest on it. Oh my God. I was also paying interest on this thing, because where do I find 4,000 plus money to pay back at once? Like, even when I saw the money that I made in the year 2024, I was like, is it me? Are you sure I made this money? Because where is the money? I don't have money. I don't know. How did I make all this? And then I kept on questioning myself, like, I made this. Are you sure? They owe me. I made this huge amount of money. Like, how did we get here? But it taught me lessons that have probably saved me so much more since then. If you're a newcomer to Canada, please don't wait for CRA to reach out to you. Don't wait. Understand how the system works and learn from it. We've all been there. There are people that have paid thousands and thousands of dollars back to the CRA. It's not because the CRA is collecting back that money. It is the money that you actually owe, based on the fact that you did not file your taxes correctly and you did not provide all the information that I spoke about earlier. I would love to hear from you. What is the biggest lesson that you have learned as a newcomer here in Canada that you would love to share with the community? Let me know in the comment section, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye!